What's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for an ML Sports Take brought to you by Tiny Bubbles Laundromat, Welch & Company Jewelers, and Brian Conboy of Mass Mutual, New York State. Tax-efficient retirement planning, no matter where you are in the country, Brian can help you out. Go see him on LinkedIn, Facebook, and, of course, advisors.massmutual.com. Let's break down quickly this trade between the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins, a trade I personally love, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela head to Minnesota. They get Josh Donaldson, the Yankees do, and of course, defensive first shortstop, Isaiah Kiner Falefa. He'll play short. And Ben Rortvedt, boy, not easy names to pronounce here coming to the Bronx. Ben Rortvedt, at catcher, he'll share some duties with Kyle Higashioka. There's three reasons why I love this deal. Number one, bye-bye Gary Sanchez, okay? No more charade, no more pretending that this guy's going to be an elite catcher one day. This guy's almost 30 years old. It's pointless. He's a terrible game manager. He's an awful ball blocker. He's awful. Absolutely horrible. And by the way, offensively, since he came on the scene and was bombing all those home runs, he's been awful offensively as well. He's also often injured. Gary Sanchez is lazy, and this is a very, very, very good move by the Yankees to remove Gary Sanchez. Now, look, Gio Urshela, I'll miss him a little bit because of the glove, but I think he's a little bit overrated across the board. Remember, this guy has gotten hurt quite often as well. I know it seems like everybody on the Yankees has the last few years, but offensively, he's a very streaky player. He'll go about a week, he'll be hot, you can't keep him out of the lineup. The next thing you know, he's like 1 for 32, and you have to rely on the defense. Well, look, no more, okay? They get rid of Gio Urshela. Donaldson comes in. There is baggage there, obviously. I mean, remember, he just recently called out Garrett Cole, saying that he couldn't, I'm paraphrasing, but he couldn't pitch unless he had the spider tech, the sticky stuff. He also comes over at the age of 36. He also comes over with a committed $50 million that the Yankees, accepted on the payroll this and next year. So that's a lot of cheese right there for a 36-year-old. But here's the thing with Donaldson. He's a former MVP. He has played on the big stage. He needed new life, and he had, despite his, being banged up, he's been banged up a lot the last several years. Last year, he played 135 games. He had 26 home runs and 72 RBI. If he can just match that this year and come close to matching it or match it next year, this will be a total win comparing Donaldson to the offensive production of Sanchez and Urshela together. Okay, another reason why I love this deal, the Yankees are getting better up the middle, right? You can't win championships if you're awful up the middle in sports. In baseball, it's catcher to shortstop to center field. You can't be awful in that regard. So, again, that's the number two reason why I love it. You're better defensively with Kiner Falefa. You're better defensively with Rortvedt and Higashioka splitting time. No doubt about that. The other thing that I love about this is the third thing, is that by doing this, okay, and making this trade, you've solidified that you're going to go with a defensive shortstop. I don't think they're maybe done with shortstop. I think they might try to go get another guy to platoon, okay? But this is something that will keep the Yankees away from handing $300+ million to Carlos Correa, who I do not want, who's another right-handed power-type guy who's a drama queen. He's a part of the Astros cheating scandal. I don't want anything to do with him in pinstripes. I want one of the big-time prospects at shortstop. I want the New York Yankees to eventually here this year, maybe even next year, but I think it might happen as soon as this year. I want Anthony Volpe or I want Oswald Peraza to be up in the Bronx by the end of this year, and I want one of those guys to be the starter. It is time to get young. This roster is aging quickly. You've got guys who are going to be in their late 30s. Stanton, Judge soon to be with that. They're going to probably extend him and give him a huge deal. Stanton, Judge, and Garrett Cole, right? LeMahieu isn't a spring chicken anymore. This roster is a lot older than people think. And look, by making this move, they check 3 huge boxes. Goodbye, Gary Sanchez. Better up the middle defensively. And number 3, this is the big one, is that the prospects are there, and God, they are almost ready. And I am hoping that Volpe or Peraza, one of those guys comes up. Hey, who knows? Maybe both of them will come up and split time until the Yankees decide which guy is going to be a starter. This also opens the door for DJ LeMahieu to be a rotational piece, to play first, to play second, and to play third. And then that can allow you to kind of move people around. If Donaldson has to DH one day, he can play DJ over at third. Maybe Anthony Rizzo gets signed as well by the Yankees. I hope they trade Luke Voit, another right-handed masher who they don't need, who's average defensively. You keep Rizzo. He's a left-handed bat. He's better for the short porch. He's more of a fit for the Yankees. Keeps the lineup more balanced. He's elite defensively. Then you can go on some days Rizzo, Torres, at first and second, and then go Donaldson at third, or you can go DJ LeMahieu at third, and then obviously at shortstop you can go with Kiner Falefa. So I like this move across the board for the Yankees, except for just the wonderment about Josh Donaldson from him and Garrett Cole's standpoint. Oftentimes these things settle themselves. Remember Roger Clemens, who a lot of Yankee hitters, quote unquote, couldn't stand. They called him dirty and all the rest. Then he came over and helped them win championships, and basically everything was all forgotten before those seasons because, jokes were cracked and all the rest. Clemens goes in, he wins titles with the New York Yankees. I think that could be the same situation here. Also, the money, though, $50 million for 2 years. I'm a little hesitant at that, but if that's what it took to get rid of Gary Sanchez, I'm all in. ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Welch and Company Jewelers, Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company, and our great friends over at Camillus Golf Club. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.